All right, Kyrie Irving will start at point guard for Team USA. Familiar starting lineup to the one we saw yesterday versus Finland. Fran, Turkey is led by Omer Asik.
And he's a guy that's going to team with Anthony Davis in New Orleans this year. But the backcourt, extremely experienced. These guys played a lot against Team USA in the championship game in 2010.
Now the U.S. coming off that domination of Finland yesterday. They are the heavy favorites in this game again today, although Turkey is expected to provide more of a challenge. And again, Fran, you were there in Istanbul in 2010 for the last Fiba World Championship gold medal game. 8
of these players on the Turkish team played in that game. Now, there's no Ilyasova. He's nursing an injury. No Enes Kanter. Okur is retired. Turkoglu is retired. It's a veteran team. There's not a lot of firepower. But the guards are experienced and they handle the ball well. Interesting to see how they handle that pressure defense of Team USA today.
U.S. wins the opening tap. What style of play does Turkey want this game to be?
Well, they want to control the tempo of this game. They are going to try to play in the half court. Team USA, on the other hand, their half court defense, especially in pick and roll, has been outstanding. And that's thanks to Tom Thibodeau, who's put this defensive system in.
Both teams start out in the man-to-man defense. Team USA, as Fran pointed out, wants to play that pressure D. As we get under 6 on the shot clock, now down to 5, and the U.S. turns Turkey over, and an easy hoop to break the ice by Kenneth Faried.
When you start with this lineup, Kevin, you've got some outstanding defenders. Faried, Davis, and particularly Kyrie Irving on the ball. They're all excellent pressure defenders. They fit right in.
Behind the Asik screen, and now it's Akyol off the dribble, has it battered away, and on the back line of that defense, we're familiar with that from Anthony Davis. Fran, a look at the FIBA rules, some of the differences between FIBA play and American style.
No, I think the big thing, it's a shorter three-point line by about 1.5 feet, and that makes really sometimes it's just a drink of water for guys like Steph Curry, James Harden.
Barish Hasek knocks it down off the set inbound, and an opportunity for a three-point play.
Again, this Turkish team has a lot of guys with a lot of experience. Team USA, the average age, 24 years old. Turkey, 28 years old. Number of guys who've been around on the international scene, Kevin, for a very long time.
Barish Hasek, 29-year-old, plays professionally in the Turkish Basketball League. Long-standing member of the Turkish national team, and Turkey the early 3-2 lead.
He plays for Gaziantep, which is over on the Syrian border. Little zone here now by Turkey. Matchup zone.
Step back 3 by Curry, and good defense out of the gates by Turkey.
And the zone you think they'll throw at Team USA in part to slow the tempo down. Although the zone really hasn't been a big bother to Team USA in the early exhibition games.
3 on the way by Ender Arslan. Not there. And Asik loses it along the baseline, and James Harden fouled as he brings it down the floor.
Well, Akyol with the foul, and you'll see that a lot, I think. And the reason you'll see it a lot is because it not only slows the fast breakdown, but Turkey has a lot of guys that are interchangeable, so Akyol getting in foul trouble is not a big deal. These guys know how to play the 5 personal foul rule pretty good.
Curry, an open look this time in the zone, and it's a bit too strong.
As good a shot as that is for Steph Curry, I've said this a number of times, he could get the same shot 10 seconds later in the shot clock. Make the defense move, see if you can play from inside out. It's hard to tell Steph Curry that because he is such a great shooter.
Hasek the skip pass, and now Akyol will try a 3, and he knocks it down, and a strong start for Turkey.
That's what he does, 45% from the three-point line this season. He's a really good shooter. Been watching him since he was about 16 years old.
Kyrie Irving, the defender, drops off, and Irving drills a 3.
Key for Team USA is not how they handle the zone, but it's just to make sure they maintain sound fundamental defensive pressure in the half court.
The lefty, Gulej, will try the 3. No, it's kept alive by Asik. And Omer Asik active on the glass early.
No, he only played 10 minutes yesterday. It was a coach's decision. It was perplexing to me. Coach felt that New Zealand presented more problems with perimeter shooters, but This guy's going to team with Anthony Davis this year. He's 7 feet, 255, and he's perfect for Davis because at his best, he's an excellent rebounder and a rim protector. You put those two guys together, and I think you're going to see a lot of improvement from a suddenly healthy New Orleans Pelicans team.
In many ways, Fran, the analogy that comes to mind for me is like in baseball when you get a guy in the lineup that can protect your star hitter, right? He's there to help Anthony Davis out on the defensive end.
No question about it. Anthony Davis played center about 40% of the time last year for New Orleans, and that meant having to go up against guys that, quite frankly, at this point in his career, are bigger and stronger. Asik handles that for him, and it's a role he is comfortable with.
Turkey off to the obvious strong start. Davis got a lot of the ball, but a whistle, and he got some of the body as well. And we've been talking about the lone NBA player on Turkey, Omer Asik.
Well, it was a trade made in the middle of July. Houston Rockets were trying to create some room for Chris Bosh, some other guys. Asik was not happy taking a secondary role. You see his numbers in 12-13, a double-double. It was a trade made, I think, in the best interest of both teams. Now, it was a 3-team deal, but by and large, it was New Orleans' first-round pick for Asik. It's protected in some ways, but it's a great situation for New Orleans and Anthony Davis.
He's got some of the best nicknames in this tournament. The Turkish Hammer, and then I think it's Stacey King that gets credit for Asik and Destroy. Now, there's a couple different pronunciations of his as Kyrie Irving puts on a spectacular move for his 4th and 5th points. But the pronunciation that we've gone with here, and speaking with some of the Turkish officials, is Asik.
I'm going to go with you. Yep.
Either way, he's got 5 rebounds now and 3 points, leading Turkey in the early going.
See, these guards now, Arslan and Gouler, they've been around the block a lot. They're not going to be bothered by the pressure.
Harden pushing the tempo. He's got one speed, and it's straight ahead. The basket will count, and a chance to tie this one up.
James Harden is at his best in the open court. He does so many things well offensively, but getting to the basket in space is a great example of what he does so well. Take a look now, and he knows how. You see Asik's trying to foul him before he's in the act, and doesn't get there in time.
You know, Fred, there's been a lot of talk about this U.S. team, who will be the go-to guy, who's the player to take the shot at the end of a close game, if there will be one. In my opinion, it's James Harden.
I agree. I agree. And I think he wants that role. It's a role he's comfortable with. He's one of the leading scorers in the league. He's a very proficient scorer in a lot of ways. I couldn't agree more.
USA trapping Sinan Gulej in the corner, and they force the 3rd turnover of the game.
There's an interesting story, Gulej, and I think I told you this off the air. He and Bobby Petrino, the coach at the University of Louisville, you know what they have in common? They were both all-conference players in basketball at Carroll College in Montana.
How about that?
Gulej, who played his junior college basketball at Salt Lake Community College, finished up a great run at Carroll. They tried to foul, they didn't do it.
Here's Curry in transition, throws it up, and Kenneth Faried there to throw it down, part of a 7-0 run for Team USA.
You get stops, you're going to get out and run because this team is explosive.
What's the best way, Fran, for Turkey or any team that's playing Team USA to try to stem the tide?
Well, the problem is with the 24-second clock, you can only hold it for so long. You can try to control tempo, but it's not easy because you got to give the ball back so much. But this is part of the Team USA MO. Get out in transition. Big guys run to the rim. Steph Curry's a guy that averaged almost 9 assists a game last year.
Asik's pass off the mark, and the U.S. will run again. Behind the back, Curry a bit too fancy that time.
Well, he was expecting a spot up, and he just overthrew that pass.
Now, coverage of the Fiba World Cup continues Tuesday on ESPN2. Team USA takes the court against New Zealand in group play. Team USA versus New Zealand Sunday, 3:30 Eastern on ESPN. They try to play the two-man game. Gulaj and Ashik, and a whistle and a foul called on Turkey.
Well, the dangerous thing for Turkey, as much as you want to have a game plan, you know, Mike Tyson once said, everybody's got a plan until they get punched in the mouth. Well, the game plan is to try to slow the tempo down, but you got to take care of the basketball. And it's as much USA's pressure as it is, you know, the lack of court awareness from this veteran Turkey team. Back in the zone again. See, they're begging you to shoot that ball, and that's a great possession for Turkey.
Derrick Rose in the game for the first time, had the quick trigger there, front rim. And it's got to be so inviting for all of these NBA stars who, as you pointed out, rightly so, Fran, as Fareed sends one back. That's a good shot in the NBA.
Well, it is, but Turkey's taking the, trying to play the percentages.
Unbelievable up and under by Kenneth Fareed. USA on a 9-0 run.
How about the energy Kenneth Fareed provides this team?
Klay Thompson in the game for the U.S. along the baseline. Jumper on the way by Prelzic, no, but he's fouled on the attempt. Second foul called on Kyrie Irving. Good look at a very strong possession on both ends of the floor for Kenneth Fareed, who, Brad, as you pointed out, I think if you're looking at this roster and you consider the biggest stars in the NBA, Fareed may not be among them, but he does fit on Team USA, who leads Turkey by 4. Back in Bilbao, Spain, Kevin Connors, Fran Fraschilla, Team USA on a 9-0 run to regain a 4-point lead. As we went to break, Fran, we were talking about Kenneth Fareed and his role on this team. Again, not one of the elite stars in the NBA, but he fits in nicely on Mike Krzyzewski's team.
You know, from the very first half hour of training camp practice in Las Vegas, his energy jumped out. And he's not your prototypical, you know, Fiba power forward, but he fits this team because, again, he gives Anthony Davis another weapon inside defensively, and he keeps balls alive. He plays with so much energy. Now, you see the matchup zone. What they're going to try to do is shade the shooters and play off the non-shooters. And so far, the zone has actually been as good as anything we've seen defensively against Team USA in the exhibition games and in the first couple of games here in Bilbao.
It turned over Klay Thompson that time. DeMar DeRozan in the game for Team USA. Three-pointer off the mark by Akyol, and the U.S. limiting Turkey to one shot for the most part. Ashik has been active on the boards.
Now you got some shooters you got to guard, but then you can play off DeRozan.
Thompson from the corner. Already 6 rebounds for Omer Ashik.
Amazing. He only played 10 minutes yesterday. Took one shot. I don't care who they put out there instead of him against New Zealand. He should have played more yesterday.
Right.
But I love the defensive, you know, changeup. Akyol fouled by Klay Thompson. We saw some interesting officiating today in the Serbia-France game.
Interesting is polite.
Yeah, and again, it's uneven. It is. It depends on, you know, not every official in this tournament is the very best in the world. They take them from different countries, and you have to adjust game to game, and that's just normal.
Cenk Akyol goes 0 for 2 from the line, but they'll say it was last touched by Boogie Cousins.
Yeah, he had something to say to the official, and so is Mike Krzyzewski. Yeah, I think the USA, and you'll just see right here, yeah, it looked like it was all, well, it looked like Ashik got it last, but you just got to play through it and understand that the officiating is going to be uneven. And I coached a lot of games, and if you make it a distraction, it will be. Coach K doesn't really make it a distraction.
Ashik not even close on that three. But, you know, we know Mike Krzyzewski works the officials on when he coaches on the sidelines at Duke. Does that exist in international competition?
Oh, yeah, no question. Now, we saw that today in the game between the Ukraine and Finland. There were a couple technical foul calls for flopping. And then there was an egregious call at the end of the game where the Finnish kid stepped in on and took the charge, and they called it a flop. And I think it was, I'm trying to think of who it was that ran the defender over, but it was obviously a charge.
And we see Rudy Gay in the game for Team USA. The officials in this game from Argentina, France, and Uruguay. And we talked about what it's like officiating some of these NBA players. And quite honestly, these officials, in many cases, Fran, just don't see the level of player that they're seeing in this tournament from Team USA.
Now, that might be the case in FIFA when they see an American official. Who knows, you know? A soccer official. But again, you can't make it a distraction.
Here's
part of the game.
Curry to Thompson. Teammates in Golden State. Thompson has not found the range just yet, and very different from yesterday's game against Finland. Turkey is keeping this one close. They want to play this low-scoring game, and it's a 2-point game as we're under 2 minutes here in the opening quarter. Wild attempt by Oj Savage. And then a good-looking feed in the paint, but a missed opportunity by Osman, and the U.S. will have a chance to run again. Curry fouled before the attempt. Fran, what stood out to you here in the first 7.5, 8.5 minutes of this game?
Tempo. You know what? See the break right here, the smart foul. Again, they give the foul, so they take away the USA advantage, but the zone, particularly patience on offense for Turkey, and keeping USA out of runs. You know, yesterday was a complete game of runs for Team USA. Today, not so much.
Rose challenged by Savage. And then a whistle as Rudy Gay attempted to go for the rebound. Well, need USA basketball updates at your fingertips? Download the USA Basketball app today for the latest news on the men's and women's national teams. Check out rosters, photos, videos, and more today. Available at Google Play and the Apple App Store.
You know, when you come in as a decided underdog like, you know, Coach Ataman has, and this guy's got a lot of experience. First Turkish coach to take a team to the EuroLeague Final Four. You're playing the percentages. And what they've done with the zone is they've dared some guys to shoot, like DeRozan, like D. Rose, and they're shading the shooters. And yeah, Derrick Rose can make the international three, so can DeRozan, but they don't make them as at high a percentage as Steph Curry or James Harden can. And so again, you're hoping they miss, and there's another miss, and you stay in the game.
Which Turkey has done here in the first 9 minutes of this one. Amir Preljic just knocked down a pair of free throws. This game is tied at 14.
And Preljic is probably the best scorer that Turkey has.
And on cue, Amir Preljic giving Turkey the 16-14 lead, part of a 6-0 run.
He's a kid that was drafted in 2009. He's a borderline NBA player. He really isn't quite good enough, but he's a good European player.
Good footwork and spin along the baseline by DeMarcus Cousins.
See, when you're playing a zone, you have to, this is a zone that can be attacked on the inside. And then as you attack the inside, then the jump shots start to open up. And then you can't shade anybody. The reason they're going to get the ball inside is because they're shading shooters.
And on the pass, it looks like they will get a foul called on.
I think this was just a ball misguided out of bounds. Let's see. Bad angle right there.
Did they call it on Gay? Let's see.
Well, they got maybe.
And they got Gunlam on the foul there. Yeah, so USA with an opportunity to hold for the final shot here. What do you want to see here, Coach?
Well, they're going to have to attack the zone, and I would flash somebody into the middle or set a ball screen somewhere. But hey, Steph Curry is just as good as anything else.
Cousins, the offensive board, down to 2 on the game clock, and a traveling violation called on DeMarcus Cousins.
Watch his feet inside now. I didn't see anything.
Nor did I. That's not the first time. And the three-point attempt from midcourt off the mark by Gunlam. Team USA just 1 of 9 from behind the arc. We are tied after 1. Back in Bizkaia Arena, Kevin Connors, Fran Fraschilla, USA and Turkey tied at 16 after one quarter. Are you surprised at that, Fran?
I am, but you know, credit Turkey. They wanted to slow the game down. They have on both ends of the floor, and this is a very experienced Turkish team we talked about and carried the game plan out very well so far. Team USA, Kevin, 1 of 9 from 3. They're 7 of 27 from behind the arc in the first game and a quarter, and I think they're settling right now. They make that shot, but I'd love to see them play from inside out.
Steph,
that zone.
Yeah, Steph Curry drilling a 3, just the second made 3 of the game for Team USA. We talked about it off the top. Turkey really wants to play at a slower tempo, and for the second straight possession, a traveling violation by Turkey, their 9th turnover of the game. Well, Fran, as we look around the rest of the FIBA World Cup of basketball, how about that Finland-Ukraine atmosphere?
Absolutely. The Finnish fans were phenomenal again today, taking over this arena, Bizkaia Arena, and then France beating Serbia. Joffrey Laverne with the free throw with 1 second to go.
Saw Croatia knock off Argentina, which may be a bit of a surprise to some fans of the international game, although Argentina without many of its big stars.
No, still a very experienced team, and Croatia has got a terrific young team. Watch the foul here.
Second foul called on Tooncherry.
Tooncherry, 35 years old. He's been around seemingly forever. The guy that's played professionally since the late 90s.
Curry thought about it. They go down low to Fareed, and Fareed is off to a hot start. Are you surprised prior to that possession that Team USA has not looked to pound it inside more?
Well, I think they should against this zone, really, because they, you know, right now with no Ashik, there's no rim protector, and Kenneth Fareed and Anthony Davis can score in the paint. That jump hook you saw Fareed make has become a real weapon for him with the Denver Nuggets.
Now a whistle and a foul called on Steph Curry. Team USA on a 7-0 run right now, going back to the opening quarter.
You see Mir Preljic, he's an interesting kid. By the way, Osman going out was the under-20 European Championship MVP this year. Turkey's got a very, very good group of young players coming up the ladder.
Good passing by the Turks. Down low, it's Savac. And an opportunity for Oj Savac to complete the three-point play.
Yeah, this is a good post-up move by Oj Savac. He's a guy that's been part of this Turkish national program since he was about 16. He's a physical player inside, a bit mechanical, but he knows how to operate in there. And you saw the head fake get Anthony Davis in the air.
That's 2 fouls now on Anthony Davis. And obviously skill-wise, Fran, the Team USA bigs are far more skilled, but Turkey has a lot of big bodies to go combat some of the U.S. stars. As a forced shot right there by Curry.
You know, and when Coach K watches this tape later tonight with the staff, he's going to point out some of those quick shots that they've taken. And in part, I think it's a little bit of frustration. When you're supposed to blow a team out, it mentally affects you. I'm not sure he traveled there. That looked like a Euro step. Tooncherry feeling the same way. Say, listen, I've been making that move since I was about 18.
10th turnover for Turkey. They've been called for a traveling violation already 3 times here in this quarter.
See, they're starting in a 2-3 zone, but they're matching up out of it. And even though Anthony Davis can make that shot, Team USA is shooting the ball very quickly right now. There's no rhythm to their offense.
U.S. shooting it at 39%. Fareed bats it away, but they call goaltending on the U.S.
Now remember, when that ball hits the backboard, you got to let it go. Once it hits the rim, you can bat it off. Let's see. Savac gets it up there, hits the board, and then Kenneth Fareed. Good call. This is a great test for Team USA, especially coming off the blowout win yesterday. I think back to 2010 when Brazil had them on the ropes in pool play just like this. Game went to the wire.
It just doesn't seem like the U.S. is playing. It seems like they're out of sorts, Fran, against the zone.
You know what? We talked about that analogy yesterday. Turkey's throwing a lot of changeups and curveballs. And you know, that vis-a-vis the man-to-man, which is the fastball. And Team USA is whiffing. You got to be able to adjust defense to defense. To me, they're shooting too quickly.
Well, Sunday the heat is on in Atlanta. 43 drivers battle, 16 advance. 2 races till the chase. The Oral-B USA 500 in Atlanta tonight, 7 Eastern on ESPN. Tony Stewart will race in that race. You can also catch it on Watch ESPN. If you're just joining us, this game was tied after 1 quarter. Team USA just a 1-point lead on Turkey as Davis is bodied up. Misses the close shot, and another chance for Turkey to regain the lead. A drastically different game and second quarter from what we saw yesterday against Finland. And now a sloppy pass allows the U.S. to run. Harden towards the basket, fouled on his way up, and James Harden will shoot a pair.
Let's see if they count that as in the act. Harden knew he was going to shoot it because he knew he was going to get fouled. And it looked like they were definitely going to foul, but let's see if they give him to. Watch Harden now. He's going to put it up quickly because he knows Preljic is about to foul him.
The first foul called on Preljic, rather, and it will be a shooting foul for James Harden. Already 9 points in this game. He scored early yesterday, but was not needed down the stretch. And by the stretch, I mean really the second half round, because the game was well over in the second quarter.
Finland did not have a field goal in that second corner. Look at this.
Easy opportunity, and it is Sinan Gulaj. And Turkey has tied this game at 22 midway through the second quarter.
Team USA was looking to press, but they didn't recognize where the white jerseys were.
Irving bounces. Fareed loses it, and Team USA out of sorts on the offensive and defensive ends.
Now watch the breakdown right here. You see there's nobody back. Davis should be the guy furthest on that back line to protect. This is the perfect game plan for Coach Ataman. This is what he wanted to do, was slow the game down.
Team USA was suffocating against Finland yesterday as they get Arslan at midcourt for the foul. But again, that's a tactical move, Fran. It prevents the fast break.
They have 5 guards that are somewhat all equal in ability. So that's 25 fouls. And if it means giving a foul to keep USA out of transition, we've seen so far in 15 minutes that the half-court offense has been muddled at best because Turkey has changed up their defenses. They've played man, they've matched up. See, now there was no pass on that whole possession. That has been indicative of the first half offense for Team USA. When we talked to the staff before yesterday's game, the point was made, we want a lot of touches. Kyrie Irving had the ball in his hands the entire possession. It's harder to beat a team that's experienced like Turkey that way. And Coach K knows this.
It's the challenge of getting that message across to players who, when they play professionally, talking about an all-star game MVP, trying to tell him to grasp that as the baseline jumper is way off the mark. And again, the U.S. shooting under 35%.
See the patience of Turkey.
Down to 5 on the shot clock. Gulaj has it stripped by Irving, and a nice defensive possession that time for Team USA. The U.S. defense has forced 13 Turkish turnovers, and yet this game is still tied at 22.
And in part because of the half-court offense. Now just watch the white shirts. Watch how they switch off. So they're in the matchup zone.
Cousins working on Ashik. It's not there on the big body of Omer Ashik.
You know what Anthony Davis said about Ashik, and the reason he's excited about playing with him this year is he plays the game in the paint vertically. And that time he just stuck that 7-foot frame to the sky and forced Cousins to shoot over him.
Akyol the three, no. Whistle and a foul called on Team USA, and it was Karim Gunlin active on the glass.
Well, Gunlin's been around forever as well, 36 years old. He's an energy guy. He's a lot like Kenneth Fareed. Played a lot of professional basketball. He's played in the Turkish league since the 98-99 season.
Off the set inbound.
Yep.
It's Cenk Akyol, and Turkey has grabbed a 2-point lead.
That's the second breakdown today on an inbounds play, and the man guarding the ball, his primary responsibility is to protect the rim.
Gay drops it off, and the easy bucket for DeMarcus Cousins, ending an 8-1 run for Turkey.
See, if I were Team USA versus that matchup zone, I'd put a ball handler in the high post and now make him make plays out of the high post, either the dump off inside or the kick out threes. But there's got to be an attack of the middle of the paint versus the zone.
Gunlin just does beat the shot clock, and again Turkey taking all of the time it has on the offensive end as Rose works his way to the basket. But friend, if you were to tell any of the players or the coaches or supporters of Turkey that at the 3:27 mark of the second quarter they would be tied with Team USA, every one of them would take it.
There's no question about it. I'm having flashbacks to 2010 in the championship game of the FIBA World Championships. Kevin Durant came out and made 3 big 3-point shots, and it broke the back of Turkey in the very first 4 or 5 minutes of that game. Tonight it's a little different story. When you're the underman team, the longer you stay in the game, the more confidence you get. And if you're the team that's supposed to be the favorite, the heavy favorite, you get a little bit tighter. So this is a good lesson for Team USA in the first half.
Rose goes 1 of 2 from the line.
Trust me, Team USA respects Turkey. It's not about not having respect for them, but you know, it's human nature sometimes to let your guard down a little bit.
Harden whistled for a foul on Cenk Akyol, and Akyol will head to the line to shoot a pair. That's the 3rd foul on James Harden, Fran.
Well, watch the head fake right here. Akyol just gets him in the air. Minimal contact, but enough to call the foul. And remember, we're talking 5 fouls and you're disqualified. Unlike the NBA when it's 6, so he's got 3 and he'll sit down, I'm assuming, the rest of this first half.
Well, there was a strong Finnish contingent inside Biscaya Arena yesterday, and I think that they realistically knew what to expect. I think these Turkey fans came into this game expecting maybe not quite the exact same outcome, but Team USA is the heavy favorite coming into this game, and Turkey has played the U.S. evenly through the first 17 minutes of this game.
Well, and let's analyze it. We said this at the very beginning. 8 of these players on the roster played against the USA team back in 2010 with Kevin Durant, with Kevin Love. So they're used to this level of play. They've come out ready to go, and they're not intimidated.
Gay shuffled his feet. 7th turnover for the U.S.
Now, again, you've got to play through these. Let's watch. He did slide that pivot foot, but you got to play through it. It's the way FIBA basketball is, and can't show your frustration.
Last touched by Gay. It'll stay Turkey basketball. Friend, this is stunning right now. 25-25. Team USA was leading yesterday at the half 60-18. So not only is Turkey playing this Team USA squad evenly as the basket goes and a chance at a 3-point play.
That's his shot, Arslan. He's smiling and laughing. I think he came out of his shoe. This is a guy, he plays with really good pace. He's quick. I told you at the beginning of the game, Kevin, he and, Goulage, Tunchery, they're not going to be intimidated. They've been playing for so long, but I'm laughing at the floater because this is his game right here. 31 years old. He'll play this year at Galatasaray. His teammates will be Carlos Arroyo, Nolan Smith, who played for Coach K, Martinez Pochis, who played for Coach K, who's on the Lithuanian team. He's not an NBA level player, but he's a really good European point guard.
Well, to finish the point, as Turkey takes a 3-point lead, this is stunning, not just for that fact, but because Team USA is playing Turkey's style of ball right now.
Well, there's too much one-on-one to me. That's a nice play right there. A good dish by Steph Curry. And listen, we've said this many times. I've watched this forever. Coach K's only got one loss since 2006. But there are going to be a couple times in this tournament where you're going to have to move the defense.
A whistle and a foul called on Derrick Rose. That's number 2 on Rose. So 2 fouls on Rose, 3 on James Harden. As we remind you, Team USA takes the court against New Zealand in group play Tuesday, 3:30 Eastern on ESPN2. Make it 11:30 Eastern on ESPN2. Team USA versus New Zealand. And Mike Krzyzewski is shocked as anybody right now, Fran, that Turkey leads by 1.
Well, I think he's been around enough to know that he's had a couple of these games in the past. I mentioned that Brazil game that was a nail-biter in 2010 in pool play. I'm surprised. I'm not going to tell you I'm not. But at the same time, when we talked about this team at the top, it was about the experience of Turkey's guards and whether Team USA could speed them up, and they have not been able to.
Ender Arslan knocks down both, and again the Turkey lead is 3. 5 points for Arslan as Curry quick trigger. That time it goes down.
Again, you're playing the percentages if you're Coach Ataman, and you're saying, listen, if they shoot it quick and they make them, we're going to lose.
Team USA just 3 of 11 from behind the line, 3-point line, as Hasek is fouled on his way to the basket.
He buried a couple big threes yesterday, but he's also got that ability. Watch him put it on the floor and draw contact. Gay never got in defensive position to guard him and stay in front of him. You know, if Team USA, and I expect them to win this game, if they win this game, this is a great test. But on the other hand right now, we've got some drama here because of the way Turkey has come out and executed Engin Ataman's game plan.
Look at the free throw numbers. Turkey with 11 more free throw attempts than Team USA. Speaks to the way that both teams are playing on their respective offensive ends.
Turkey's gone to that matchup zone, and what have they baited Team USA into doing? Shooting a lot of jump shots. I always felt when a team zoned me that they were telling me that either they didn't respect our shooting or they didn't think they could guard us inside, which is why we went inside. Because once you take the inside away from a team's zone, you're basically taking their heart away. And so you must attack this way against the zone.
Textbook play that time. Fareed to Cousins, and DeMarcus Cousins has 8 points. He's tied with Fareed for the team lead.
Kevin, because they're stretching the zone out to the shooters, the middle and the baseline is wide open. Coach K will make this adjustment at halftime.
Quick trigger by Hasek, and he drills it.
You talk about corner threes, that's his territory right there.
Here's Rose off the dribble. A traveling violation, the 8th turnover by the U.S.
Hasek buried 3 of these yesterday from virtually the same spot versus New Zealand.
Hasek has 8. Akyol has 7. Turkey has an opportunity to open up a 5, maybe 6-point lead on the #1 ranked team in the world.
Yesterday, Spain struggled early with Iran until blowing them out, winning by 30. Right now, this team, Turkey, a better team, one of the better teams, I think, in the tournament in terms of experience.
There's a three rattled in by Prelzic, and the lead is 6.
Going to be an interesting halftime. Now watch the zone. See,
Klay Thompson, his three goes down. Did the U.S. need that?
this is the most they've seen zone in all the exhibition games in the first game and a half here in Bilbao.
Floater by Akyol, and the Turkey lead is back up to 5. Timeout on the floor. We're coming back with the end of the first half after this. Team USA beat Finland by 59 yesterday. They trailed Turkey by 5 at the half. Kevin Connors, Fran Fraschilla. Fran, when things went right for the U.S., what were they doing?
Pushing the ball, attacking the basket, getting to the lane quickly. That was good early, but Turkey really mucked up that USA offense, patient themselves offensively, knocked down some threes, and the game plan has been executed perfectly by Coach Ataman.
Ken, it's safe to say nobody anticipated this. What went wrong?
We're not playing our game. We're not pressing the ball right now. We're not getting after it. And we got to come out the second half with more pressure. And stop letting them slow it down. They're really slowing us down, and we're buying into what they want to do. We got to enforce our will.
You guys have been out-rebounded so far by a substantial margin. Why do you think that is?
I don't know. We're missing a lot of threes, so they're getting a lot of those rebounds, and they're really gang rebounding in this group. So they're really getting after it, and they're making sure that we don't get no second chance shots.
Thanks, Kenneth.
All right.
All right, Bob Holtzman with Kenneth Farid, who Fran said, we've got to impose our will. How do you do that?
You know, they've got to get great shots at the rim, and we talked about going into the middle of the lane versus the zone, and we said Coach K would make that adjustment, and that's exactly what they did on the first possession.
First 2 points of the game for Anthony Davis.
Exactly. Turkey's been in this matchup zone, which essentially means they're playing man-to-man. Davis operates very well in the high post area, and that's where they went on the first possession.
Davis knocks down the free throw. And you can read Coach Mike Krzyzewski's lips. Pick up. The U.S. wants to pick up full court, and by doing so, pick up the tempo.
It's got to be intelligent pressure because they've had the tendency to play with their hands, and they've not been able to get away with that. So they've got to be smart about pressure.
Down low to Ashik, going to work on Davis.
That was a good possession by Turkey again. They ran pick and roll. They got Davis on Ashik's back.
Quick opportunity by Kyrie Irving, and the lead is back down to 2.
You want to try to speed Turkey up, but you don't want to give up the rim in the open court. And then in the half court, you got to be rock solid and play without fouling.
Turkey opened up the FIBA competition with a 3-point win over New Zealand. As the U.S. forces a turnover, and out and running, it's Kenneth Farid.
That basket was forced by James Harden, who did a great job guarding Ashik on the roll. And see, Farid doesn't need to do that. That's exactly what we've talked about. I think they might have called a technical foul here.
Well, for sure, they get the first personal foul on Farid.
And that's just not intelligent basketball. You want to pressure without using your hands. Now, he makes the play at the end off that steal. And I guess it's just a foul, but you got to play and not show your frustration.
Turkey attempted 13 more free throws than the U.S. did in the first half. Akyol thought about it. Now tries the three and drills it.
Turkey has been so good in their pick and roll offense. They're not bothered by the coverages at all. So they're playing 5-on-4 in many cases.
Elbow jumper by Irving, but the second effort by Anthony Davis. And Fran, he has asserted himself to start this half.
Now, this is what you like if you're Coach K. You must play offensively from the rim out. Now, that time he cleaned up the missed shot. But Farid and Davis have got to make their presence felt on the backboards and in the low post area. It doesn't matter what the defense is, because The matchup zone is essentially man-to-man inside.
Friend, down 5 at the half with a team full of NBA All-Stars. What do you suppose the tenor of the message Mike Krzyzewski gave at halftime was?
You know what? I don't think you have to say much to these guys when they understand they played the way they played.
Three-pointer by Goulet. Sinan Goulet.
That's typical Euro pick and roll, drive the lane, throw it to the opposite corner. Arslan set that up because of his ability to read the pick and roll coverage. Watch Arslan now. He's going to go left, Kevin, and he's going to come back to his right. He knows where Goulet is at all times. Smart point guards aren't worried about their man or the screener's man. They're worried about the other 3 defenders.
Nice teamwork. Fareed wanted a foul. May have had an argument there.
Tell you what, Ashik has got an advantage on Davis inside if they can find him.
Here's a quick 3 this time by Arslan.
You know, one thing I'm not surprised by is the play of Arslan and Goulet, because they've been around forever. They're not going to get rattled.
Curry wraps it around, and Davis will head back to the line. Fred, if anyone's pushing the tempo here in the second half, it's Turkey. The quick opportunities, and they are taking advantage.
Well, it's intelligent, because what's happening is they're reading the pick and roll coverages perfectly. They're forcing the extra blue jersey to help in the lane, and their point guard Arslan knows where to throw to the open man. Pick and roll offense is dictated by creating confusion at the point of attack on the 2 defenders guarding the pick and roll.
The last Team USA lead was 25-24 early in the second quarter.
Watch Arslan now. That time he comes off the screen. Curry falls down. Davis took the roller, so Arslan had the look. Again, they haven't been able to speed up Goulet or Arslan, who's out of the game right now.
They try to establish Ashik down low, and the U.S.
Look.
A good look by Irving, and Anthony Davis thunders one in.
Second turnover that led to an easy run out, something that Team USA did not get a lot of in the first half.
Davis has 9 points in the first 3 minutes of the second half.
Watch the pick and roll coverage.
Fareed bats it away. Kept alive by Turkey, and Ashik works his way to the line.
They may have an intentional foul here. Ashik, not a good free throw shooter. Great save, and Ashik was right there at the rim. There's the drive. Now watch. Great save here. Ball going out of bounds. Ashik gets to the rim. I think it was an intentional foul called on Kyrie Irving. The official, that's his 3rd foul. The official immediately signaled it.
So it'll be 2 shots and the ball for Turkey. And as you pointed out, Fran, 3 fouls now on Kyrie Irving.
And I don't agree with that call.
Right.
Again, I thought he played hard for the opportunity to go for the ball. But this is what you get. You know, luckily you got Ashik, Mike Krzyzewski, who's not a proficient foul shooter.
Well, it bears repeating. This is a rematch of the 2010 FIBA World Championship, but there is 1 NBA player on Turkey. The other 11 players play professionally in Turkey against the team of NBA stars here for Team USA, and Turkey has controlled this game as they get a foul on, a traveling violation on Ashik.
See, they're trying to get Ashik on Davis and Fareed. Fareed guarded them there. But that's not Ashik's game. His post-up game is minimal. This guy, Savage, can hurt you a little bit more inside because he's better offensively. I'll tell you, Monty Williams is sitting on Coach K's bench. You think of Ashik, Davis, and a healthy Ryan Anderson, who finished with a flourish last year before he was injured in January.
Davis. Yeah, he's got 11 points already, Fran, in the second half.
See, I like this. I don't care how many shooters you have out there. This kind of talent from Team USA the game should be played from the inside out to put pressure on your opponent's defense. Jump shooting can be often fool's gold.
Here's Prelzic, gives it off to Savac. Davis fights for it. And now Irving looks to push, and again fouled at midcourt to prevent the break. Well, we remind you later tonight on ESPN2, it is Sunday Night Baseball presented by Taco Bell. Michael Brantley and the Indians take on Alex Gordon and the Royals, who are locked up in a good one in the American League Central in the race with the Tigers. Sunday Night Baseball, 8 Eastern on ESPN2, Indians and Royals.
Now here's another thing. If you're going to understand the FIBA game, Turkey is already at their limit in terms of putting USA in the bonus. So now if you're Team USA, the more you pound the ball inside or take it to the basket off the drive, you're going to get a chance to go to the free throw line and set up your pressure.
Team USA on a 6-0 run to tie this game up at 51. Here's the floater by Akyalno and Fareed, and this is what the U.S. wants to do. They want to run. Lobbed up by Harden, and Fareed on the alley-oop.
James Harden is so good with the ball in his hands. People see him as a scorer, which he is. Talking about a guy that averaged 5 assists a game as well. But Fareed with the rebound, the run out, and the finish.
Behind a screen, Gules drops it off. Good teamwork, and Savac the finish.
The screener at the top is constantly changing his angle, so Team USA can't get a... Wow! How about that? It slipped out of his hands.
It does. And Kyrie Irving will take the 2 points and regain a 2-point U.S. lead.
Kevin, the pick and roll coverages in the high post are not great because Team USA is confused by the angle of the screens.
And they're going to get an offensive foul that time on Oj Savac.
And because Savac moves a lot, that time they got him for the illegal screen, but it's definitely caused some trepidation on the part of that defense. You see the move right there. That's a good call. And now watch this. Sometimes you got to be good to be lucky and lucky to be good. More intensity from Team USA in this third quarter, but they still haven't slowed Turkey down on the offensive end.
Free throw line jumper for James Harden. He's been held to just 6 points. Foul issues for him. He's got 3, and again 5, and you're eliminated in FIBA play. And boy, finally a bit of breathing room for the U.S. as they up the lead to 4. Team USA riding a 55-game win streak into play dating back to 2006, Fran. Last time they lost was the 06 World Championships.
Right, that 55 games is including exhibition games, but it's been 8 years. Pick and roll again. Oh boy.
3, and it's drilled by Gules.
This reminds me an awful lot of the way they lost that game to Greece in 2006. And it's more about the slippery IQ of the Turkey guards, but James Harden now able to get into that lane. Much better offensive flow from Team USA in the third quarter.
U.S. now 10 of 12 from the field here in the third quarter. As Turkey bangs it down low, Savac, and now Fareed tries to lead the break again. Irving, the pull-up 3.
He traveled.
He did. He got away with it. Here's Tooncherry. He'll pull the trigger on a 3, and Turkey has tied it up again.
They play smart. They play composed. They move the ball well. The longer they stay in this game, oh boy, hang on.
Kevin Connors, Fran Fraschilla back with you. Team USA scored 35 points in the first half. They've got 24 already here in the third quarter, but Fran, defense continues to be a problem.
Well, they've given up 19 in the third quarter so far. They're playing with better offensive flow. There's no question about it. But they still have not been able to solve the riddle of the experienced guards from Turkey in that pick and roll situation out high.
Here's Klay Thompson.
That's not a shot I would take right there out of a timeout.
And your point, because you can get better opportunities.
It's the same semi-contested shot with 5 or 6 on the clock. He's good in here, Savage.
Working on Irving, and good help defense that time for the U.S. And now Steph Curry will push. Curry all the way. Second effort by Davis. Look at Fareed fight for it.
Good hustle by Davis. That's a new possession, too. See if Team USA recognizes that.
Davis has been terrific in this third quarter. Fareed, second chance.
Now, you like what they're doing because they're starting to play through those guys in the post. Good effort by Fareed right here. You see the block by Davis. That got it started. Savage, who's a mechanical below-the-rim guy, usually effective, but Davis coming out of nowhere. The rubber band man was able to make that play.
If you're just joining us, Turkey led Team USA by 5 points at the half. The U.S. has gotten it together offensively here in the third quarter to grab a 2-point lead.
Watch the up and unders here.
Savage working on Davis. No reset of the shot clock, so it's down to 5. Here's Tooncherry. Ashik fighting for it, and Irving comes away with it. Drops it off. Curry tries the 3.
Great head fake by Steph Curry. Now for him, a drink of water. Head fake, shook the defender, knocks it down.
Third 3 of the game for Steph Curry, and the U.S. lead is 5. Well, listen into the Team USA huddle. Mike Krzyzewski letting his team know what he wants defensively out of them, Fran Fraschilla. What is it?
Well, there's definitely a concern about what we've talked about, the pick and roll. Good effort by Curry there.
Curry with the strip. Bodied out of bounds, but they'll say it'll be Turkey ball, no foul.
Fiba. Welcome to Fiba. Good hustle by Steph Curry. I thought he was bumped out of bounds. Take a look. Great pick right there.
Oh, there's no doubt about it. He was bumped out of bounds.
I mean, that's what I'm talking about. You just got to go. You got to play through it.
First turnover of the quarter for the U.S., who's cleaned it up on the offensive end. The defensive end, it continues to be an issue. And now they'll get Curry on the foul.
You know, here's what you like about Coach Ataman. Preljic is their best offensive player. He's 6'7", 6'8", maybe 6'9". They had Curry on him on the switch inside, and they recognized it and went right to him. Well, there's the young kid Osman we talked about, 19 years old, the MVP of the under-20 European Championship. They've got a kid named Engerman Gulvan, who's about 6'11", who's on the under-18 team, he's like a Pau Gasol. Remember that name. You know, you'll hear about him in about 5 years. Maybe about 3 NBA drafts from now. Pick and roll again. And it's frustrating to me now because what they're not getting is they're not getting anybody from the weak side to help on the roll because those weak side defenders can't leave the shooters. Take a look right here now. If you help on Ashik, look at those white jerseys on the other side of the screen. So that gives Ashik a running start to the rim, and you can't do anything but foul him.
And they get the third foul on Anthony Davis. To finish up the point about the young Turkish player you were talking about, I heard a wise man once say he's a few years away from being a few years away.
Don't start on that. Please don't start on that. But, you know, Turkey's they're the under-20 European champions this summer and also the under-18 European champions. and Osman, who's in the game right now, a very good young player. This is a great test for Team USA because other than Spain, maybe Lithuania, you won't see a team execute that spread pick and roll as well as this team has today.
Here's Curry with 14 on the shot clock.
I just think...
Nice effort by Kenneth Faried. He has lived up to his Manimal nickname.
Well, this guy just gives you effort. And we've said this a number of times during the tournament. He understands playing hard is a skill. If more young players would get that if you just play 20% harder than you're playing right now, you make your team that much better. This guy gets that. From Newark to Morehead State to the Denver Nuggets and now Team USA, his relentlessness is his greatest strength.
Largest lead of the game for Team USA. And Fran, despite the success that Turkey has had, the under-18 team, under-20 team in Europe, and also advancing to the 2010 FIBA World Championship, still in all, this is a big surprise.
Well, there's no question. And they've executed, as we talked about at the very beginning of the game, a good game plan to this point.
Here's Curry on the drive in transition. Plumlee fights for it. As we dip under 30 seconds to go in the third quarter.
Again, if you're Team USA right now, play hard without fouling. Fouling negates hustle. So they're working their way back into this game with great energy and hustle.
Under 10 on the clock. Kyrie Irving clearing it out, wants to go one-on-one. Irving, 17-footer in and out. Plumlee's tip doesn't go down. Strong effort from Team USA in the third quarter. They outscored Turkey 31-20 and take a 6-point lead into the fourth quarter. Back in Bilbao, Spain, Vizcaya Arena, Team USA a 6-point lead on Turkey after 3 quarters of play. And Fran, the U.S. did a real good job of turning things around in that last 10 minutes.
8 turnovers by Turkey. It led to some runouts, easy baskets. Also good execution by Team USA in the half court. They've gone inside better, established an inside presence, and Kenneth Faried has been tremendous on the glass.
Is the message just more of the same here in the fourth quarter?
Well, there's no question about it. And you see, again, quick hands by Team USA. They've started to get the rhythm of that Turkey offense. Guards driving, sucking defenders in, and looking to kick out. And watch James Harden read that passing lane perfectly. Harden has been really good defensively in this game in terms of his anticipation ability. We saw in training camp that James Harden can be a really good defender. It's hard to ask him to do that 48 minutes a night over 100 games in Houston, but he's got the capability.
Skip pass to Klay Thompson, and it finally goes down, and the lead is up to 9.
Great set play out of the timeout by Mike Krzyzewski. Versus the zone, they screened the backside, and they skipped it side to side for the easy look.
Running jumper by Arslan, no, and the U.S. has gained control of this game again, at least for the moment. Largest lead of the game. And that last possession, Fran, more along the shots that Mike Krzyzewski wants to see from Klay Thompson.
Well, and what happened was they ran a set play and they moved the ball from one side of the defense to the other.
Step back 3 from Harden, no, and Faried cleans it up again. 18 points for Kenneth Faried.
Listen, you know, there's that school of thought that they were going to need a stretch 4-man, but not with this team. You got to take what you can get, and you can never give up on guys that play hard.
Well, Sunday the heat is on in Atlanta. 43 drivers battle, 16 advance, 2 races to go until the playoffs. The Oral-B USA 500 in Atlanta. Tony Stewart will race tonight. You can catch it on ESPN and also on Watch ESPN. Turkey led Team USA by 5 points at the half as they get an illegal screen and an offensive foul called on Omer Asik, his 3rd.
His former teammate, by the way, he just leveled James Harden. I said it in the first half, but, you know, the Pelicans are in the West. Watch the little hip check right there. Pelicans won 34 games a year ago, but they got a chance to be a lot better, even though they're in a tough conference.
Extra pass, and Kyrie Irving knocks it down. It's up to 14 now.
Probably the first time since the first couple minutes, Kevin, that Team USA and that coaching staff have a little bit of breathing room.
Arslan turns it over, and now Fareed, rather it's Harden in transition. James Harden misses the layup. Akyol drops it off. Arslan. And Harden pushing all the way, and he'll work his way back to the line.
You knew he was getting fouled, didn't you?
You did.
He sticks the ball out so that you kind of have to reach for it, and then he throws his body into you, which is really smart.
Timeout on the floor. Team USA has opened up a 14-point lead. Kevin Connors, Fran Fraschilla, back with you in Bilbao, Spain. What was a 5-point halftime deficit is now a 14-point Team USA lead. Fran, what's been the biggest difference in the second half?
You know, I think it's been more intelligent defense. And by that I mean very simply, they're playing fresher D without fouling. Their commitment to the defensive rotations and pick and roll are a little bit better. They're anticipating better. And if you know Coach K, his MO after games is to go back with the staff and watch the tape, get some food at the hotel. And tomorrow, they have a day off, but he'll take about 10 clips defensively, particularly in the pick and roll coverages, and they'll cover them because in many ways, this has been a great lesson for them today because Turkey really understands that part of the international game.
Amir Prelzic fouled on his way to the basket by Rudy Gay. Third foul called on Gay.
And that's the second time that Prelzic has isolated Gay and taken him off the bounce. Young man, 26 years old, who is in the midst of playing at Fenerbahce, but the Mavericks have his rights.
He was a second-round pick of the Suns in 2009, traded to the Cavs, and then the Wizards in the Anton Jamison deal. And again, as Fran said, now his draft rights owned, or his rights rather, owned by the Dallas Mavericks.
I think that was a DeJuan Blair deal, if I'm not mistaken, this summer. A lot of these guys I've watched since they were young players, and time flies. You know, this guy at one time was a real NBA prospect. I think he's better suited to play the European game.
Extra effort tipped in by Furkan Aldamec.
There's a guy that played a lot of minutes yesterday who hasn't played much today. He's a really good rebounder.
Gay lobs it up to Anthony Davis.
That may be why he's not playing that much today.
13 points in the second half for Anthony Davis. He's one of the big reasons why Team USA has gotten back in control of this game as they get Gay for the fourth foul.
And well, Aldamec gets caught behind. You can't let Davis get behind you. That was too easy. It's good ball movement. Team USA has done a much better job of attacking through the painted area, high post to low.
I think that what happened there was that Turkey had to get the shot off quickly because they did not reset the 24-second shot clock. And that's what the officials are talking about right now.
Well, the foul on Gay meant that they reset it.
Well, it'll be Turkey ball. I think the officials got together and confirmed that the clock was not reset. And so they'll put 17 on the shot clock.
Foul was at 17, so that's where they put it. Just like the NBA, if it went under 14, they would have reset it to 14. That's good pick and roll basketball. But an illegal screen.
25th turnover of the game for Turkey.
Yeah, the European players, you got when you're upset with the official, Kevin, you got the low cup, you got the high cup, and then you got the two hands over the mouth.
Right.
That was the low cup right there. You know, like me.
Different levels of
Yeah.
Trying to get your point across.
2 hands out low, 2 hands out high, and then the...
Oh, nicely done. Klay Thompson to Anthony Davis.
I think Anthony Davis is telling his teammates, don't forget about me next game.
Just past the top of the hour, Kevin Connors, Fran Fraschilla with you. Bilbao, Spain, Team USA trailed Turkey by 5 points at the half. But the U.S. with a strong third quarter and now dominating fourth quarter to start has turned this into a blowout as Davis does it again. Fran, he's up to 17 points.
A turnabout is fair play because now you got Anthony Davis screening and rolling to the rim, and Turkey unable really to handle this. Take a look. There's the roll, the foul, the tip, and Davis gets it to go. Good look by James Harden. You know, James Harden gives you that extra ball handler. You just don't realize how crafty he is because he scores 25 points a game nightly for the Rockets. But he's in high pick and roll so much for Kevin McHale that it becomes second nature to him. He is a gifted pick and roll player.
Well, he was virtually invisible in the first half, Fran. How much of that is on him and how much of that is on the rest of the Team USA guards?
I think it was both. Remember, that zone in the first half baited Team USA into shooting a lot of jump shots. And that was the change we thought Coach K would make at the half, and he did.
As Rose is fouled as he brings it up court. Well, we talked about it a lot yesterday during the Finland game and some here in this game. This is the youngest team since NBA players have been playing in the international competition the Team USA has fielded. And you say in many ways you're shocked that Turkey was leading at the half. This is still a learning experience, the international game, for so many of these U.S. players.
Well, it is and it isn't. These guys, you know, the average age is the youngest team, 24 years of age. But a lot of these guys are used to the international game. And I think it was just a matter of human nature. When you beat a team by 59 points, you mentally, you just let up a little bit. I don't care how good a coach this guy is, and he's one of the all-time greats. It's a mental thing with players and sometimes coaches. And this scare is going to turn out to be a positive. And by the way, I've said it a number of times ad nauseum. Tom Thibodeau's not going to be happy with the pick and roll defense, and that will hopefully get corrected. And that's one of the great lessons of a game like this, when you win and still can improve.
Here's Prelzic, drops it off to Gunlum. Boy, Turkey, the score right now is not indicative of the way Turkey has played.
Well, I would agree with that, but I also think Team USA has been magnificent in the last 15 minutes. You're talking about a 25-point margin in 15 minutes, so this is more normal Team USA basketball.
20 points now for Fareed. And an easy opportunity, maybe too easy for Aldimich.
Well, again, and coaches don't know this, when you help on that roll man to the rim, if you help on him, you're leaving the shooters opposite open. And now they're getting the ball to the painted area. UB would love this, you know. You're going to score. Now, come on. You're going to score at a high rate if you get the ball in the painted area in the league, okay? So they're getting the ball into the painted area, and that's what you want to do.
Here's Gunlum, knocks it down. Is it still the painted area if it's not painted?
If UB says it's the painted area, it's the painted area, okay? Now, come on. We all know this, okay?
The gospel, according to UB.
Yeah. And UB's thinking the same thing at home right now, like, get the ball inside to Anthony Davis, okay? How hard is it?
The guy who's got 19 points in the second half here and has really changed the tempo and the tenor of this game.
We are officially in garbage time.
Right. Much later than we thought we'd be.
Yes.
That's Tooncherry. Another rebound for Davis. As the three goes down for Harden.
People are going to see this score if they did not watch the game and not realize what this game was all about. But there's James Harden. There's the youngster, Osman, getting a lesson. You can tell James Harden he'll see him in about 5 years in the league. Maybe. Cedi Osman. Or, excuse me,
Cedi Osman. Lead up to 24, and likely will be the last we see of James Harden in this one. And so, Fran, as we spin it forward and talk about Tuesday's opponent, New Zealand, what can U.S. basketball fans expect in that one?
Well, they don't have the guard play that Turkey had. Turkey has the best guard play in Pool C, in my opinion, because they have experienced, tough, hard-nosed guys like Gulej, who played his college ball at Carroll College. New Zealand, they have a young backcourt in some ways. Now, Kirk Penny is not young, but Corey Webster, who played at Hawaii, Ty Webster, who's a sophomore at Nebraska, they're going to handle the ball a lot, and they got their work cut out for them. Kirk Penny is a very good international player who played at Wisconsin, played in the Final Four in 2000. I don't expect them to give Team USA the run that this veteran Turkey team has.
As DeMar DeRozan connects on his first 2 points of the game.
Team USA will see the Dominican Republic team they saw in New York that they beat handily. Oliver Antigua.
Orlando Antigua?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yep. I was thinking of his brother, Oliver, who is his assistant coach at South Florida, but Orlando is the head coach of that Dominican Republic team and will also be the first-year head coach at South Florida. And Kenneth Faried, Kevin, I think you'd agree, set the tone in terms of his intensity in the second half.
No question about it.
His team was out-rebounded in the first half.
Well, he was the one who came up with a lot of big defensive plays, hands in passing lanes, second chance opportunities on the glass. Faried and Davis changed the tide in this game. And again, if you're just tuning in and you say this is about what I expected, this was not the game that we saw really through about 3 quarters of basketball. U.S. down 5 at the half, led by 6 after 3, but they have blown it open here in the fourth quarter. Outscoring Turkey 60-29 in the second half.
Well, Team USA now is kind of putting the ball on ice a little bit, and the fans here at Vizcaya Arena not happy with that. They're trying to show some sportsmanship, but I feel like maybe they're showing up Turkey, and I don't think that's the case at all. Savage up and under. Up and under. Got to know the scouting report.
Yeah.
If you're guarding this guy, you just play straight to the ceiling. But once he baits Cousins in the air, he's just going to step up and under because he is not dunking on you, okay?
Three-point play by Oj Savage.
He's a guy that's been a pro in the Turkish Basketball League since 2004.
Turnover by DeRozan, and it leads to an easy bucket for Barış Ermş. Rose drops it off. Here's Cousins, who has struggled. And you can do a lot of things in international play, Fran, but that's not one of them.
Right, that time Savage tried to knock that ball off the rim from below the rim, which can't go through the net, but you see D. Rose right here, and you'll see Savage put his hand through the basket. Up and under.
Nice passing by Turkey. Is there a rotation that you've seen in the first 2 games of this tournament and the few exhibition games that is the strongest for Team USA?
No, I don't really think so, because I think that second unit actually comes into the game they have so far in 6 games with good energy. So I think Coach K is going to play 10. And I think it's going to, you saw in this second half, he played the starters more. But that second unit is going to be really valuable throughout this tournament. There you see Osman, a youngster we talked about, getting a great opportunity. We saw Svi Mikhailuk today from Ukraine. He got some action for Mike Fratello. He'll be at Kansas right after this tournament. Mario Hezonja is playing for Croatia. He's one of the bright young stars in Europe. He'll likely be in the NBA draft a year from now.
Cousins up to 11 points for Team USA, who's been led in this one by Kenneth Faried with 22 points, 8 rebounds. Anthony Davis with 19, all of them coming in the second half as the U.S. turns Turkey over for the 28th time. And now DeRozan creative, but he doesn't get the layup to go down. Under a minute to go here in Bilbao. Klay Thompson a three.
Yeah, I think Team USA got the message when fans in the arena started whistling. Now they'll probably pull it out. You know, it's funny. Team USA, they got all the pressure in the world to win these games, and yet everybody in the world wants them to lose.
They scored 114 yesterday in the opener over Finland. They won't get to 100 in this one.
I think I told you about 90, right?
You did. As the three goes down for Turkey and Erms. And the final horn sounds on a game where Team USA was tested for about 30 minutes of basketball. Turkey led by 5 at the half. A very strong second half by the U.S., pounding it down inside. Anthony Davis with 19, all coming in the second half. The U.S. outscores Turkey 63-37 in the final 20 minutes, en route to the 21-point win. We'll come back, put a bow on things after this.